Want to know how we could easily slide into a civil war? Stay tuned, because it could happen. How could a civil war start? Great question. To understand that, we need to first believe that Biden is definitely our next president. Because he is, right? Emotionally speaking, yes, he is. But legally speaking, no. No, he is not. Not at all. It's a no, even though the mainstream media, the social media giants, and Google have all announced to the public that Biden has won, and they're continually reinforcing it. While legally speaking, court proceedings and legal challenges continue with the alleged voting irregularities with the actual election and the actual results. Not to mention the automatic recounts that are happening in some states just because the results were so close. It's the law. But here's a fact that the fact checkers will fact check is false. In truth, the media doesn't have any authority over the election or in determining who the winner of the election is. They just have tremendous authority over how you perceive the election, because whoever controls the narrative controls the people, that kind of thing. So, here's how a civil war could break out because of all this. Unless you've been living under a soundproof rock, you'll know there was an election. Your results are going to be one of basically two choices. Either Trump or Biden wins. People vote. Whoever gets the most electoral votes wins the election. Simple-ish. Then a few days after the election, while the official vote counts, recounts, and lawsuits were still going on, the Associated Press announced Joe Biden as the winner of the election. So it was happy days for a lot of people who did not like Trump. Easy to understand is he doesn't have the most humble personality on record. So many people's expectations and emotions are extremely elevated over a Biden presidency. Oh, and it's probably worth mentioning at this point, up here you've got a few very rich, powerful people who want their guy Biden in office and Trump out. They control the mainstream media and social media. The media continues to reinforce the emotions and certainty of a Biden win with a steady stream of headlines like these. Even on this video, you're likely seeing a reinforcement message that looks like this, or this. It's generated by the social media companies to try to convince you that the election's absolutely over. They also produce a steady diet of headline propaganda trying to convince you that even the idea that voting fraud could be a thing that could happen is preposterous as an idea, as the thought that the earth is flat. While headlines like these manipulate people into believing that the reason why Trump won't concede the election is because he's crazy, dangerous, and is refusing to leave the White House. So people are left with a feeling of absolute certainty that Joe Biden is their next president. Awesome. But here's the problem. The media doesn't have any authority to determine who the winner of the election is. Actually, zero. That's the exact amount of authority they have. Determining the winner of the presidential election is actually the legal responsibility of the Electoral College, the Senate, the House of Representatives, and the National Archives. Not the media. This is something other countries see very clearly, while our media seems to be clouding our vision. So it's these guys who are legally entrusted to determine who the winner of the election is after a fair and accurate vote count, which currently has a number of lawsuits, legal challenges, and recounts going on, which have to be resolved before a winner can be announced. Now you might say, well, I don't like Trump and his side can't just declare there's voting fraud and get those votes thrown out. And that's correct. It's impartial judges within the US court system who get to determine if there's in fact any voting fraud and if any votes get thrown out. Thank God, because I'm pretty sure each side is dirty and dishonest enough that they'd both be willing to cheat and therefore shouldn't be trusted. That's why we have the justice system, which is presumably the only thing in this scenario that is trustworthy. As the legal proceedings, proceed in determining who the legal winner of the election is, it's very possible the courts and electoral college, etc., will determine Joe Biden is the winner of the election after all fair votes are counted and any fraudulent votes are thrown out. That's totally cool. These people stay happy, democracy is upheld, and we can have faith in all future elections. It'd be great. Another possibility, and it might not have a high probability, yet it is realistically a possibility, is that Donald Trump proves to be the winner of the election, even after the media's called it for the other guy. It's happened before. If Trump wins, then you have a very sad group of people over here instantly turn happy and probably act like jerks to the other side. Let's just be real. Yet democracy is upheld and we can have faith in all future elections. But remember these people over here? What happens to them if they find out Trump is the legal winner of the election after many weeks of believing and feeling with absolute certainty that Biden has won the election? Answer? Emotional hysteria, and they won't believe the real election results. If this proves to be the case, Trump wins and that's the reality, do you see how far from reality these people have been led by the media? The larger the divide, the more tension there is to erupt. And this is a very large divide. Think of it this way. What happens when you give a child a toy? They love it, right? But then what happens if you take that toy away? Because the child believed it was their toy, they feel as though you've wronged them. So they're willing to explode with emotional hysteria and destroy the house. Except in this case, the house is our country. But when you factor in that we're living in a year where the media has already established that rioting is okay, then the child's basically been given permission to destroy the house, because we've already practiced it. And then you have a civil war, because the media's influence over people is stronger than the influence that the legal reality has over people, because whoever controls the narrative controls the people. You get the idea. But why has this house of cards been set up this way? Because these people up here that really want Trump out of office are willing to manipulate people to destroy their lives and country to underhandedly get their guy into office. It's an attempt to have emotional persuasion overthrow legislation. Oh, and by the way, who are these people? I don't know. They stay behind the scenes because darkness loses power in the light. And again, maybe this scenario happens where the legal vote determining system declares Biden as the legal winner of the election, and that's great. But just in case, these people have used the media to put this into place. It's kind of like saying, I hope we win, but if we don't, we'll have this in place so we can win even if we don't. Hashtag rioting. Hashtag civil war. Oh, it's also illegal to incite riots, but these guys are kind of above the law, as you can see here, so I don't think we have to worry about them getting caught. But this orchestrated mess of a civil war can only happen if you let the media do your thinking for you. If you truly think for yourself, then the highly charged emotional hysteria needed to create rioting in a civil war simply won't build up inside of you. Instead, you'll have peace inside you and you'll be contributing to a better world. Whoever controls the narrative controls the people, unless the person chooses to control their own narrative, which you can do. Just something to think about. Oh, hey, this just in, and spoiler alert, everything I just said has been fact-checked as false. Great. One more thing. I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Magnesium Breakthrough by Bioptimizers, because it actually helps promote inner peace. Now, I'm sure it's hard to figure out what you could possibly be stressed about right now, but there is one key nutrient that can significantly help reduce people's stress levels, and that nutrient is magnesium. High stress levels elevates the cortisol in your system, which breaks your body down, and you start to feel crappy inside your own skin with low energy. But taking magnesium can significantly help lower your stress levels so you can feel and function amazingly. Now, I want to tell you a secret that the mainstream media doesn't want you to know. Most magnesium supplements just contain one weak form of magnesium, but Magnesium Breakthrough contains all 7 forms of magnesium that your body needs. Let's put this crappy cushion on the chair because I'm doing well. If you want to join me in using Magnesium Breakthrough to lower your stress levels so you can feel and function your best, just go to magnesiumbreakthrough.com/JP to get yours.